Are you the kind of person who wants to exercise but just can't seem to follow through on those good intentions? Well, I do have 3 of my favorite behavior change techniques for that. But before we do get into those 3 behavior change techniques, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see when any new exercise related videos are released. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Now, you want to exercise, but at the same time, you're struggling to follow through on those good intentions. So first of all, you are in good company. As a matter of fact, this is so common in any behavior change effort that there is a name for this. And it's called the intention behavior gap. And this is when we struggle to act on our good intentions. It's why I have totally forgotten to do my Portuguese practice today, which I will do as soon as this video is over. So why do we struggle to do the things that we intend to do, in this case, exercise? And then what can we actually do about it to make sure that we are going to be more consistent in our efforts to act on those good intentions? So this video is going to be for people who truly do have the good intention to exercise. It's okay if you don't have the intention to exercise just yet, but without having this pre-existing intention, it's gonna be very hard for you to act intentionally. So if you didn't have the positive intention to exercise right now, like I said, totally fine. You need different behavior change techniques than the ones that I'm about to describe. But even if you have a slight intention to exercise, this is probably gonna be good for you. So to act on your good intentions, let's introduce the first behavior change technique. And this behavior change technique is within what's called the self-regulation umbrella, okay? And this technique is called action planning. I encourage people to use this all the time. It's such an effective behavior change technique for exercise. This is in part what I actually did my dissertation on. So if you want to implement this strategy, what you're going to do is you're going to schedule the day and time that you are going to exercise. Specifically, put it into your calendar because it's so important to have this prompt towards action. Now, this appointment, and this is important, it's not a placeholder, okay? Let's say that you get home at 5 o'clock and you had planned on exercising, but you notice that there's a dish in the sink, and now you're dusting the molding and doing the laundry and then cooking dinner and then taking care of everybody except for you. Seriously, stop it. I hear this story all the time. All of these things can be done later. The only way to be consistent with exercise is to do it. So that first self-regulation technique, action planning, put it in your calendar. Now the next behavior change technique is why I actually feel comfortable using the saying, just do it, not one of those exercise hardos saying you need to exercise for 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 5 times per week. My technique that I think is extremely important is to lower the task demand. I think that many people think that they need to boost their motivation to act. And yes, this is one dial that you can turn, and we'll talk about this later. But I tell people to make the task easier. Imagine the same scenario. You get home, it's 5 o'clock, you planned on exercising, you see that dish in the sink that is gonna lead to a subsequent series of events that's gonna lead you to missing exercise. Just pause for a second. If you planned on doing strength training for 30 minutes, just do it for 5 minutes. If you planned on going for a long walk, just go for a quarter of a mile. The number one predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So this is why I say we need to act. It's just human psychology. The more you act, the easier it's going to be to act again. So instead of missing and not acting on your good intention, just lower the task demand. Just do it for 5 minutes. It's gonna make it easier to act again in the future. Now, this last technique is called temptation bundling, and it's when we pair something we want to do with something we know that we should do. So I love strength training. It's not something I necessarily need to worry about, but I know the value of aerobic exercise, but it might not be something that I love. I value the outcome. I do like it when I'm done with running. I do like the feeling of pushing myself. But what I do in part is I'll pair something that I want to do with that running. So for example, I've watched a series of television shows on the treadmill, including watching and rewatching all of The Last Kingdom on the treadmill. If you haven't watched it, watch it. So take something that might feel addictive to you and pair it with an exercise behavior. You might just find that you crave that TV show or the podcast or something, whatever you're listening to or watching, which will subsequently make exercise more appealing. So please do go ahead and try some of these techniques, and then please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you get the next video when it comes out. And as always, please do drop some of your questions about exercise into the chat and I'll consider it for my next video.